Welcome back to the Bluestone Villa. My name's Louisa and I share all sorts of home content from my Victorian villa in England. Much like our house renovation, it always has to get worse before it gets better, and as the weeks continue to pass by at home and the winter becomes gloomier and more unwelcoming, I thought now would be the ideal time to share how I create the perfect cozy day at home. They say that hygge, the Danish term for that warm and fuzzy feeling of joy, can't be forced or manufactured. And I absolutely agree, in the sense that I don't think you have to spend money or do everything on my list even to create this sensation for yourself. Whether you do one, some, or perhaps are inspired to follow your own list of things that make you feel good in your home, ultimately today I want to share how I create that little piece of joy in my own home with things that I already own. I think a great place to start is with your senses. Touch, sight, scent, sound, taste. I've broken down my cozy home list in this way, and it's made me realise that hygge, or coziness for me, is something that stimulates all of those senses in a positive yet simple way. So here's how I'm bringing them to life today. Touch. I think a Sunday is an ideal day to slow down, practice some self-care and enjoy our homes. A reset, if you will, before we all start again on Monday. The ideas on this list are simple, sometimes indulgently simple, and so when curating the perfect cozy day at home, mine has to start with a long, hot bath. Now, I don't have the most glamorous of bathrooms currently, but I'm still able to find the peace and joy in a bath, and I have to say, there's something so luxurious about starting the day with one. A bath is normally reserved to help unwind after a long day, but instead you're giving yourself permission to unwind and relax from the start of the day. I like to opt for my favourite salts or bath oils. They don't have to be expensive, you just have to love them. For me, I really enjoy this beautiful rose bath oil from Jo Malone, which is actually on the more expensive side, but I only use this on the odd occasion, so it's lasted for ages and also makes it feel even more special every time I do use it. No relaxing bath is complete without some candles. My bathroom, even in daylight, is really dark because of the configuration, so even more reason to use candles to create a warm glow in the room. I have some lovely Pecksniff ones that I picked up from HomeSense a while back, and all of them have different purposes, so I like to choose one of those dependent on my mood and what feeling I'm hoping to emulate that day. I was also given this kintsugi candle at Christmas, which is a perfect combination of bath oil and candle. You light it for 15 minutes and then pour the oil into your bath. Once I'm immersed, I like to switch off with some reading. I'm currently reading The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn, which is such a page turner. But I recently also finished up a book that will definitely resonate with any home renovators out there. The Invited by Jennifer McMahon follows a couple from Connecticut as they up sticks and purchase a haunted piece of land in Vermont and build their dream home. It's another page turner and has really resonated with me while we work on this old house. Minus the ghosts, of course. Or, if not reading a book, then I like to hunker down in the bath with my favourite magazine, The Simple Things. This magazine alone makes me feel so cozy. I've been a subscriber now for a number of years, and it was actually reading the January issue that gave me the inspiration for this video. Each month, at the front of the magazine, they curate a gorgeous list of simple things to do that are seasonally appropriate and give you the opportunity to slow down. A few things that feature in this list and in this magazine in general will be making my cozy list today. There is no perfect time frame for your bath. 30 minutes or 2 hours, remove yourself when and only when you're ready to get out. I like to run through a vigorous skincare routine afterwards as well. There's nothing better than feeling totally clean and fresh-faced. Then, I slip into something comfortable. Perhaps it's your favourite loungewear. For me, today, it's my lovely New York brownstone pyjamas. They feel so soft and gentle next to my skin and are the perfect accessory for a day like today. Oh, and don't forget your fluffy socks or slippers, a must for an old drafty Victorian house like ours. Sight. Now it's time to set the ambiance. In the deep depths of January and February, if our heating isn't on, then it's pretty chilly within these thick 140-year-old walls. And so it's so lovely to be able to light a fire to roar throughout the day. Lighting a fire in the morning feels so indulgent. Again, an act that is typically reserved for the evening is somehow so much more special begun in the early of the day. This was one of the wonderful ideas that I stole from the Simple Things magazine, and one that James and I have been doing a little more often than just on cozy days. If you don't have a fire, then I think the same sensation is felt of lighting a candle in the morning. Not required while it's still light, but appreciated nonetheless. Light one to flicker as you sit peacefully, or many throughout your home so that you can meander through and feel a spark of joy wherever you go. I also love to keep a little Christmas magic beyond the December days. In Vermont, their outside Christmas lights are kept up through to February. This year, when very little joy is felt for many of us, I've kept our outside lights up and plan to do so until we reach spring, in the hope that it will bring a smile to someone's face, and if not, then at least mine. I also have a lovely set of twinkly lights that wrap around my dried hops that welcome us at the entrance of our kitchen. These hops were only meant to be temporary, but I now plan to keep them here year round. The texture they create looks beautiful and interesting here, and they mean something too. The act of hop picking is weaved in amongst the heritage of Kent, where I live. James's family hop picked many years ago, and my grandmother in the 1930s was one of many Londoners that came here for a holiday to hop pick before heading down to the coast at Hastings. Your lights don't have to adorn a garland. They could be tightly squeezed into a glass jar or vase, hung across your mantelpiece or weaved around a chair, anywhere where they can give you a friendly nod when you're least expecting. Scent. The memories that come dashing to me like a warm hug from just the slightest smell. The jasmine that surrounds our front door reminds me of family holidays to Spain. A certain perfume takes me back to my first week in Massachusetts at college, alone and far away from home, but totally intoxicated with a New England campus that felt as if it had stepped out of an episode of Dawson's Creek. Scent is so evocative. A scented candle, essential oils, and incense are always to set the mood and create your happy space. Another for me is the scent of one of my favourite coffees. Not only one of my favourite tastes, but also the creator of a smell that envelops our downstairs. Even James says it reminds him of snowy days in Vermont. The Dunkin' Donuts French vanilla coffee feels like a big treat for us here in the UK. Flavoured coffees are always less than appealing, I've often discovered here. So I usually stuff my suitcase full of packets of my favourite flavours of Green Mountain coffee or Dunkin' Donuts coffee when visiting the US. That's unfortunately all long gone now, that my last trip to the States was a year ago, but I did manage to get my hands on the French vanilla coffee via Amazon. Word to the wise, order only from them if sold by them directly. Independent retailers seem to have reviews that suggest their coffee is out of date, an expensive price to pay for stale coffee. I make up a big cafetiere of this sweet smelling caffeine, and it's just bliss on a day like today to drink and to savour the scent. Sound. Much like my favourite smells, sounds can also transport you to another world, another day, another lifetime. There are certain sounds that give me such comfort and instantly curate the coziest of vibes. Sometimes it's Vivaldi's Four Seasons, other times it's Sarah McLachlan, Joni Mitchell, Vonda Shepherd, or Alexa, play the Practical Magic soundtrack.
Practical Magic, music from the motion picture by Anthony Anderson Orchestra on Amazon Music.
Or it's sitting peacefully, listening to the quiet tick-tock of my pretty little clock in our living room. The world seems to stop when it's as peaceful as this, and I'm suddenly 7 again, sat at my grandparents' on a Monday evening after school as I wait for them to bring tea and cake from the other room. Taste. It's happening. You're wrapped up in a whirlwind of cozy, and yet there is more still to come. Baking can be so therapeutic, methodical, delicious scents, and then you get to indulge in its consumption. The recipe section of the Simple Things magazine has to be one of my favourites. Their recipes are always a hit and just seasonal perfection. In January's issue, they had a Scandinavian focus, perfect for these dark and cosy days. These cardamom buns look and sound divine. Or, if like me, you don't have all the ingredients today or just want a small, simple pleasure, then you could opt for something uncomplicated but still delicious. I'm popping in these semi-made cinnamon buns, filling my home with the smells and warmth that make me go weak at the knees, but still quick and easy enough to not disturb my cozy, lazy day too much. It's the afternoon now, and so I do intend to make one of their hugs in a mug from January's issue. Tahini hot chocolate, dirty chai, sweet Adeline, London fog, or hot marmalade rum. All of them sound divine. Today I think I'm going to try the tahini hot chocolate. I'll link to the recipe in the description box below before I pour this nutty, sweet cocoa into one of my favourite mugs. And now we rest. In front of the fire, surrounded by the scents that inspire us, the glow of our candles, and something to relax our minds and further transport us to our cozy place. I like to switch on something that is familiar and warm. A romantic movie perhaps, like When Harry Met Sally, a tearjerker like Little Women, or My Good Old Friend, an episode or 2 or 4 of Dawson's Creek. Just sipping and watching and feeling cozy. And that, guys, is how I curate the perfect cozy day for me at home. I'd love to hear how you'd curate yours.